Okay, now we're live. Now we're live. All right. All righty. Okay. Welcome everybody. Welcome once again to Three Market Minds live stream. My name is Bill, and I'm here with Anagalu. Hopefully, Abdu will be joining us shortly. Okay, here we go. Hello. Hello. Welcome everybody. All right.
Everyone.
So let's go ahead and take a look at the disclaimer again. Um, yeah, you know what happened is when I hit go live, there was a delay on YouTube Studio, and anyway, that's why we had to redo that part. Okay, so yeah, this video and live stream are for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. Do your own research, so on and so on. And then the agenda for today, we're going to focus on earnings. It was a big earnings week this last week, and there's going to be more earnings next week. So we'll be taking a look at the, all our normal charts and look at the stocks that got affected by earnings. If you guys took a look at the thumbnail, it's pretty obvious that Google and Tesla got burned pretty bad during earnings this last week. But we'll go over those, and then yeah. So it's an earnings bloodbath. It's and when's it going to end? That's a big question. Well, earnings will end in a few weeks, but when will the bloodbath end? When will the selling end? Hopefully soon. Okay. You got any updates you wanna say, or anything you want to discuss before we jump into the charts?
Yeah, basically about the earnings, most of the companies seems to do, they've done well in terms of the reports, um, like they beat estimates and things like that, like specifically Google and even ServiceNow. But the problem is it's not reflecting on the stock, like
Yes.
on the price, which is
Yeah.
very strange. I don't know. I haven't really seen that. I mean, 212%. That's how much it beat earning Google.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Those numbers are
Yeah,
insane.
that's
Yeah.
massive.
Yeah. 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 So what happened? So yeah, before we jump into the charts, just want to say a few things. So it's not just earnings that are affecting the market, right? It's the war, and the war got really hot again, the war between the US and Iran. And that sent oil going up over $100 again. And
Yeah,
I think what's going on is the market had been operating under the assumption that the war was over, and then all of a sudden the market decided, you know what? Nope, the war's not over. Oil back over 100. Everything crashes, and anything that's speculative it got hit pretty hard. Well, I wouldn't say speculative, but it was more. It seemed like the companies that were spending a lot of money on AI capex for AI, that seems to be like what really worried the investors, and I think
yeah,
that's what sunk Google, and I think that's, well, Tesla, they kind of missed on revenue. No, not revenue. They missed on earnings. They missed on earnings. Yeah, their profit margins were down. But no, it was a bloodbath. It really was. But there's a lot of external factors going on right now. It's the war, and it's mostly the war, to be honest, because I think inflation is kind of under control. But okay, let's take a look at some charts then. We'll just jump right into it. I'm showing the S&P. Okay. Let me show trading view. So I'm going to show trading view for the people at home. Okay. And then in Aglu, I'm going to show trading view on Zoom so you can see it. Okay.
no, I can't see it.
Oh,
The
not yet. I
charts.
have to share it first. Okay, so I'm sharing it now. So you should be able to see everything. You should be able to see the chart now. You see the S&P 500?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see it
okay.
now.
So the S&P 500 doesn't look too bad. I mean, as bad as this last week was, the S&P 500 looks okay. It's still like, it's like right in the middle of that range that we were talking about last week. So it still doesn't look too bad. It's still a bullish chart. Um, Even though Google got hit hard and Tesla got hit even harder. S&P
Yeah,
500.
I think like you were saying is there besides the war is the AI expenditure.
Yeah.
So that's what a lot of big investors are looking at. Like, is they're actually investing a lot of money on it. So I think they actually do the accounting stuff.
Yeah, yeah, but
Yeah,
but I remember Google was showing though in their earnings that AI investing was paying off. It's like I was saying before, right? The market is not rational. The market panics. The market's impulsive. The
yeah,
market is dumb, scared. So I think that's kind of what we're seeing. And and you know what? And that's why we want to put most of our money into like the companies that we consider the best because they will recover even when the markets start panicking. Because when the markets start panicking, it can get really ugly. Um, okay, well let's just go down the line then. We can take a look at Nvidia. Let me see. Nvidia's earnings is still a little ways away. Um, their earnings is here. I'll click right here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so their earnings it's not until August 26th. So Nvidia earnings are still a little bit away. If you're just looking at the Nvidia chart, I mean, it looks fine. Nvidia looks good. It bounced off the 200-day moving average down here. It's just kind of consolidating, and so hopefully it'll just keep moving up. So Nvidia looks pretty good. Um, any comments about Nvidia?
um, yeah. I just look at uh, yeah, it has the potential to go towards the resistance.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think it's gonna get back up there. Yeah, I got some targets up here, some bullish targets. Now remember, just a reminder to everybody, I only take the bullish point of view, right? I never look to short. When there's a sell off, when a big sell off, I'm looking to buy, right? When there's a big market sell off, I'm looking to see like, okay, well, what can I buy at a good price? I don't short. I'm always long. And because I think it's just too hard to switch your mindset back and forth between going short, going long, going short, going long. It's extremely difficult, and a lot of people wind up second guessing themselves. They wind up doing too much buying and selling, too much. It gets too stressful. So I just pick
yeah,
one side, and if you're just going to pick one side, go long because the market. If you look at the market over the last 20, 30 years, it just goes up, up, up. So go
it's
long.
the entry point. Like, and that kind of investing, what you're looking for is a good entry point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, right now, I think this is a decent entry point for Nvidia. It's decent. It's not bad. We're not near the all-time high. Like Nvidia is
Yeah,
one. I'd feel perfectly safe. I think it's perfectly safe to just buy it on dips and just keep dollar cost averaging and building up. Okay, let's take a look at a more risky chart right now, and that's SpaceX. So SpaceX has earnings coming up. I'll bring the earnings up. So their earnings is on August 6th. So that's going to be a really big earnings event. I honestly think that SpaceX is really way overbought. I bought some more SpaceX last week. I think I bought it around here, and then it
you
fell.
mean oversold or overbought?
Sorry, oversold. Yeah, no, it's definitely not overbought. It was overbought when it was up here at 220. Now, but geez, it has fallen so far from like the high at 225. It's gone down almost 50%. Wow, that's a big drop. That's a big
Yeah, I
drop.
mean, like I was saying last week, I think the earning reports, that's kind of like I feel like it's the real IPO because now most of the retail investors they know what the company is about, from the actual report,
Yeah.
look at the performance and things like that.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be and it's their first earnings. That's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big one. I wonder if Elon's going to run that earnings too.
I mean, who else would?
Because
He's like a CEO, right?
yeah, he's a CEO. I guess yeah. Who else exactly? Who else would do it? So because he just had the Tesla earnings, and man, well, let's just say the market did not react well to the Tesla earnings. We'll look at that next, and actually we'll look at that now. So hopefully he learns something from the Tesla earnings because it just fell off a cliff. Yeah, so Tesla dropped, I think, about 14% after the earnings, and then it dropped another, well, it dropped another 2% on Friday. And unfortunately, there was a nice support right here at 342, and it fell below it. And what happened is actually here, let me bring up the earnings. Okay, all right, so let's look at the earnings. So it was in the earnings, right? It was in the actual, you got your earnings and you got your revenue. So the revenue was good. The revenue came in higher than the estimate, but the earnings came in low. The earnings came in low. Yeah. So I think that's what upset people. What's this summary thing? Is that the
The
summary?
earning.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, can you see the earnings? I brought up the earnings. You see the
Yeah.
box here? Okay. Yeah. So that's what happened with the earnings. They missed on revenue. Not revenue. Sorry, I keep saying that. No, they missed on the earnings. The revenue was fine. Revenue was actually higher, but they missed on the earnings, and they sold off pretty bad. So now, honestly, I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do next. I don't know if it's going to keep going down. I don't know if it's going to stabilize here.
I would swing trade it. Like, I mean, because of that gap.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It'll come back and fill that gap, but you got to wait. You got to wait for a turnaround signal. And right
Yeah,
now,
I wouldn't do it with the margin money, but I would
no.
definitely.
Right now, I don't see it. Right now, it's just formed two red candles, and this is very bearish. So I don't see
Yeah.
any turnaround yet. It's yeah, it's tough right now. I mean, if you own it, I own it. I own a lot. I'm not selling, um, but I think it's too early to buy more right now.
Yeah.
There is a
I was watching last night. I watched the iRobot movie.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
kind of like
The
I don't
robots.
know. I mean, I'm not very optimistic with the robots and stuff. Watching that movie, kind of like, you know, I see some potential of how it can be used, and if I think if any company can do it, it's in the US, it's gonna be Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla has the manufacturing capabilities to do it, and that's their
Yeah,
big advantage. Because a lot of these, I think there's a lot of companies now that are, making robots, right? They're releasing robots and they're showing the robots they have, but do they have the manufacturing capability of Tesla? Because Tesla makes millions and millions and millions of cars across the world, and they can pivot to making millions and millions and millions of robots. I mean, that's what they're doing in Fremont. They shut
yeah. I
down
mean,
the assembly line for the Model S and the Model X, I believe, and now they're
yeah,
building assembly lines for the robots to make millions of robots. And I think the plan is first the robots will start as working in like factories, working in industry, right? And then I think that's where they're going to start, and then eventually get released to the general market, right? To the retail market. So if you want to buy a robot, you can buy a robot, have it in your house.
yeah,
So that's one of their, and then the other big AI push they have besides and then we're talking about the Optimus robots, and the other big AI push is the self-driving taxis, and
the Cybercab.
yeah, exactly. Now that also I think has a huge potential too, because that could just replace Uber, replace
Yeah,
Lyft.
and their business model on that, I think, from what I I understand is they want to sell it to fleets as a fleet. And right, like you were saying last time, you see,
Yeah.
even you have a plan to do it, right?
Yeah, that's a proposal that I've been hearing is you can
Yeah,
as a
if
business
they
if
do that, they don't have to maintain it.
yeah, as like a
So
small business owner, if you want to,
yeah,
you could become a small business owner by buying a bunch of cyber cabs and sending them out. Um, but I think you would still rely on Tesla for service and maintenance, but Tesla would make money off of,
exactly.
maintaining and servicing and
Because the challenge, you remember the scooters? The challenge was they had to pay for people to, go around, gather them, maintain them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would see those pickup
So
trucks driving
like
around
for a
filled with
company from
scooters.
central, they cannot do that centrally. Like what if you offload that to people?
I think the majority of the cyber cabs are going to be owned and maintained by Tesla.
Yeah,
I
at
think
least
I think the
initially.
vast majority will be owned by Tesla, but there will be opportunities for individual businesses to to own like individuals to own cyber cabs and send them out. Um, yeah, so we'll see what happens with Tesla. Um, I don't know. I hopefully it doesn't get below 300. I mean, if it gets below 300, that'd be a good time to start dollar cost averaging.
Yeah,
When's the last time it had a big dump like this? A big gap.
it's been ranging for a while between the 221,
Yeah, and then it fell below
488.
it. It fell below the range. So hopefully it can. It's just one to keep an eye on. I mean, I think the worst. Hopefully the worst is done over with Tesla, and then we'll just keep an eye on it. Wait for it to turn around, and yeah. But no, unfortunately, that was a big earnings loser. You know what? Let's go ahead. Let's skip to Google since because let's just talk about the companies that already had their earnings. So we talked about Google a little bit at the beginning. Let me bring up the earnings report. So yeah, like you were saying right here, earnings, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, the estimate. So the estimate earnings was 2.9 billion, and they reported 9.1 billion, a surprise of like 216%. And the
2%.
revenue also reported 119. And then
Yes.
okay, no, the revenue was in line. The revenue was in line, right? They reported 119, and it was the estimate was 116, so it was above. But the earnings, oh my goodness, that company is making money. It's making
Yeah,
so much money. But
because they're like the front line when it comes to actually, to the customers.
yeah, but look at this gap. I mean, this is for Google. This is a big gap. It was like a 7% drop. It's a big gap. Google though, this one, like if you want to buy some more Google, I think now's a good time to buy it because
Yeah,
it's
I
yeah,
bought some
yeah,
yesterday.
yeah. I think Google. I think it's safe to buy Google at this point right now, and you still got the 52-week moving average, down here as support. Um, yeah, there's a gap here, but yeah, I think Google's a good one to start DCAing. But it got hit hard, and it was surprising because the earnings were good, but I mean, what's not shown here is the amount of the billions and billions of dollars are spending in capex,
Yeah,
and that's what I guess that's what worried people. Um, but no, Google's one that I think is in a good spot to buy right now. Yeah, buy the dip. So let's move on to now because now had good earnings too, and and then it also sold off, right? So it had it beat yeah, it had good earnings, right? It beat the earnings beat, revenue beat, right? Both of them beat. So pretty good. It still sold off on Thursday because it was Google, Tesla, and ServiceNow. They all reported their earnings Wednesday after the market closed, and so Thursday was a busy day. Um,
yeah.
and then Thursday, I think, is
Thing
when the
about now is for some reason it got hit the day before because of some announcement
yeah that
by
was
OpenAI.
that was yeah yeah
Yeah,
that was a
so
bunch of
it's
FUD.
still trying to recover to that point.
Yeah, that was just a bunch of FUD. There was some story that came out that said, oh, OpenAI was going after the SaaS companies
Yeah.
or something like that. It's like, yeah, duh. I mean, yes, been talking about that for over a year. Yeah, I know. It was just a like I said, the market panics, the market's stupid. It was it was good earnings, and it actually had a good day on Friday. This is a good reversal signal. This is, I think, called a let me see. I think it's called a Hirachi. Let me whoops. Hirachi candlestick. Or Harami candlestick. Yeah. Yeah. So this is a Harami candlestick where you got a big red candle followed up by a green candle. That's called a Harami. Now we just need to see a green candle on Monday and then see it reverse. But I think now's in a good I think now looks good. You're still making like higher lows. I mean, let's see. We got to see what happens Monday. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So Thursday was a rough day. Thursday was a rough day because also Thursday, I think, is when oil shot back up above $100 a barrel, and then that really kind of just made everything worse.
So, I was the Zoom has a speaking of like AI,
Yeah.
it has the AI companion function. I don't know if you know about that one. So
Hmm.
I asked it like what the reason was for why, Google and ServiceNow, why their stock is down, even though it beat estimates.
Hmm.
Yeah, the answer is pretty much like what you said. It's the AI expenditure.
Yeah. Yeah. This is one of the reasons why I don't like earnings, is because they're just so unpredictable. It's so unpredictable. I don't like kind of betting on earnings because it's just so unpredictable. You could have a company like Google, right, release these amazing earnings and then it sells off 7%. And it's just like, what the heck? That doesn't mean anything. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So it's like earnings. I just see earnings as like something to try to make it through, just to get
Yeah.
through. So I think ServiceNow did a good job getting through earnings. I think they'll be fine. Tesla, unfortunately, really failed the test, the earnings test, and we're still waiting for a reversal. That said, though, I mean, it puts Tesla in a good position to buy. Now, it may not recover till the end of the year, but you got a big gap now above Tesla that will eventually get filled, and it's way, way, way below the 200-day moving average. But it could be a while. It could be a while before Tesla turns around. So there's no rush to buy Tesla. Just wait until we see some kind of reversal signal, and then buy back into it. ServiceNow looks good. ServiceNow, I think I'd be comfortable buying more here. Same thing with Google. So those were the big three earnings that I remember from last week. Were there any other earnings that you remember from last
Um,
week that made the news?
did IBM?
We could take a quick look at IBM. Yeah. Okay. No, or wait, no, yes, 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 they did, and they did bad too. It looks like they. Or wait, no, 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 no.
No,
What's
different
going on?
products
What's
than
going on? What
previous.
happened here? Doesn't look
Oh
like it
yeah,
moved.
IBM did.
They did have earnings, but it was here.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it really did anything though. It had already dropped off a bunch, so I guess the bad news was already out. I'm trying to remember what this news was about. They must have, I can't remember it, but I think they might have done they might release some data before earnings. Yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah, for IBM, ChatGPT says that management warned that enterprise customers are prioritizing AI infrastructure spending,
yeah.
which hurts
Okay.
parts of IBM's business. I don't know what that means.
All right. So they released the bad news before earnings, and then that tanked
Okay.
it. And then so when earnings happened, it didn't really do anything because the bad news was already out. All right. All right. Well, let's just go down the line here, see if we got any other earnings coming up. Well, next week. So, oh, Hood. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so Hood has earnings on Wednesday after the market closes.
These earnings
Very,
are coming back up fast.
very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with Hood. I mean, I still got the diamond pattern made here. It's still above the top of the diamond, which is really, that's good.
Was that's not during the earning, right? The
No,
down.
earnings hasn't happened yet. Oh, there was an earnings here. There was an earnings.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was like right here. And you know what? It was probably here. That big jump, that big gap down. So it looks like there was a sell-off during the last earnings. I got a decision to make. I got a decision to make. Okay. All right. Oh, let's see what happens. We'll have to see what happens with Hood. Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, earnings has just
Yeah,
been so
I don't like it
crazy.
when the last rate is like that, like the signal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Need to see when is it? Is it next week?
Yeah, it's on Wednesday after the market closes. And again, it's like who knows what's going to happen, right? Because like we just saw, Google had amazing earnings and sold off 7%. So like I said, I just try to get through earnings, and we'll see what happens. I think technically there's a lot of support here, but earnings,
Yeah.
when there's a big earnings miss, like we saw in Tesla, it can just blow through all support.
If it goes down, I think it's a buying opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, yeah, we'll see. Okay, so Hood next week, earnings. All right, let's take a look at Circle. Circle, also next week earnings. Wednesday before the market opens, Circle has earnings. Um, all right, so let's see what happens. Circle is consolidating here. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right, Microsoft has earnings. They have earnings Wednesday evening also. All right, so Wednesday's going to be a big day because we got Circle in the morning and then Hood and Microsoft in the afternoon. Um,
Do you know how they did in the previous earning, Microsoft?
it didn't really do anything. I mean, they beat, right? They beat, and it was April 29th after the market closed. So that's like here. So it looks like it dropped. There was a little gap down, but I mean that's tiny. What is that? Like a 1% drop? I don't know. This one here, it looks like it did gap down. Yeah, so it looks like the last two earnings they had a little gap down. This one actually sent it down for a while. Let's take a look at that earnings, and it was decent earnings. Interesting. But I think Microsoft's turning around. We'll see. We'll find out on Wednesday. Um, Man, but it's like I said, earnings. You just try to get through it. Don't
Yeah.
second guess yourself. Don't start thinking, oh, I should sell before earnings, then buy after. I should buy right before earnings and then sell. It's just too risky. I mean, just try to get through earnings. Um, yeah, if there's a sell off, right, and it's a company you really like, you just buy more. Um,
Yeah.
Unless it's, oh boy, I mean, I really like Tesla, but this looks so bad. I wouldn't buy any more Tesla until I see some kind of reversal. Um, kind of like we're seeing a nice little reversal on now. That looks good. Google is finding some support down here, so at least those two are showing reversal. Okay, so big week for earnings next week. Now Hood, Circle, Microsoft. What about MicroStrategy? MicroStrategy's got earnings. Oh yeah, I circled that. That Morningstar pattern's still in play. Okay, I'll leave that circle there. Yeah, so this is a. Let's see.
That circle
Yeah, so you see, I circled. You
or
see,
MicroStrategy?
no, no, yeah, MicroStrategy. So there's a circle here. It's a red candle down. Then you got a nice little doji hammer. Well, it's a hammer. And then you got a green candle. That's a Morningstar pattern. So we'd really like the price to stay above at least stay above 82. It really should try to stay above 85. It's just going to do, well, we'll see what happens. Again, it's like, oh man, I really don't know how people are going to react to earnings, to be honest.
Yeah,
Um,
honestly, I think if people have to put their money somewhere, so if this AI stuff doesn't work, I think um,
Crypto held up pretty
cryptos
well.
might
Crypto held up
might
pretty
come
well
back.
last week. Crypto held
Yeah.
up pretty well last week. So, but yeah, so MicroStrategy also has earnings next week, Thursday after the market closes. So right now the big days are Wednesday and Thursday. Um, yeah, so Wednesday morning got Hood reporting, and then we'll see how Hood reacts during the day Wednesday, and then Wednesday afternoon I think it's Circle and Microsoft. No, Circle's in the morning. Okay, so Circle's in the morning, and then Hood's in the evening. Hood's in the evening. Okay, so Circle's in the morning, Hood's in the evening, Microsoft's in the evening, and then MicroStrategy I think is in the morning. No, MicroStrategy's in the evening. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be a busy week next week.
Yeah.
Okay, so MicroStrategy, we've talked about them before. They're a Bitcoin kind of a Bitcoin holding company. So I added a new stock on here. This is Tom Lee's Bitmine Immersion Technologies. So these guys, they're an Ethereum holding company. And this guy, Tom Lee, he has been buying a lot of Ethereum over the last year. And he's getting really close to owning like 5% of all the Ethereum.
That's a lot.
You know what? They had earnings, but it just didn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I think it's all about what Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing. So this is another interesting one to watch because they own a lot of Ethereum. And Ethereum, if Ethereum does take off next year, um, this might be an interesting company to buy. Maybe, maybe. I just want to watch them right now.
Yeah.
Right now, honestly though, if you don't have any Bitcoin, right, buy Bitcoin before you buy MicroStrategy. If you don't have any Ethereum, buy Ethereum before you buy Bitmine. But it's just one to watch. That could be interesting. Um, I don't want to get into the crypto just yet because crypto doesn't have any earnings. Let's just keep talking about earnings. So, Taiwan Semiconductor. It looks like they already had their earnings. I guess they had their earnings last week or 2 weeks ago. Okay. So
Not much happened.
yeah, not much happened. They look good. I mean, and you know what? And it's okay when not much happens during earnings, right? I'd rather have not much happen than having like a big sell off, like what we saw on Tesla or Google. Although that Google one is a good buying opportunity. Okay, let's take a look at AMD. AMD has earnings. Look at that.
Next week?
No, is it? No, no. You know what? I
It says
think it's
the 4th August 4.
I think it's the following week. Let me see.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the following week. Let me look at my calendar. Hey, where's my
So
calendar? Yeah, it's the following week, August 4th. Okay. So that one, I guess you could fit 5 candles in there, huh? One, two, three, four, five. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's the following week, so that's one to keep an eye on. AMD looks really good. AMD's been staying up really high. So this is,
consolidating. I don't know which way
yeah.
it's gonna go.
No, AMD looks really good. As opposed to like ARM, right? ARM got really high and then just kind of fell apart. Um, AMD, AMD got high, stayed high. So yeah, and I do like AMD. I would put AMD. It's not as good as Nvidia, but it's like it's a distant number two. It's a very very good number two. And I like ARM too. I like ARM. Don't get me wrong. I really like ARM. They just got overbought. Does ARM have earnings? They do have earnings. All right, so AMD's earnings are in a couple weeks. ARM's earnings are next Wednesday in the evening. Jeez, Wednesday's going to be a Wednesday,
Busy
Thursday's
week.
busy, busy day. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. Micron. Okay, Micron. No, Micron doesn't have any earnings for a long time. Um, Micron's another interesting one because I still think it's like too high. I think it's still too high. I'd like to see the price. come back down a little closer to the 200-day moving average before I get into it. Um, yeah, but it's worth keeping an eye on. Okay, so no earnings on Micron. What about Iron? No, I don't see anything on Iron. Iron is they're kind of like they're a Bitcoin miner, but then they also do a lot of like AI stuff, like providing computer power to AI companies. It's an interesting company because it's a Bitcoin. Iron's interesting because it's a Bitcoin play, Bitcoin mining play, and a AI data provider or power. It provides compute power, right? To AI companies. So it's an interesting company.
Do you
Whoa.
think this any a merge would happen between AI and AI and blockchains, cryptocurrencies and things like that? Stuff like agents doing transactions and telling each
Yes,
other
yeah,
with
no, I do think there's a lot of synergy there, and
yeah,
I think the company that's really at the head of all that is Robinhood, because Robinhood they're looking into they're very big into crypto, right? They created their own blockchain. Um, they're very they're very big into AI. They have agents, right, that'll do trading for you. I
yeah.
think they're rolling that out. So I would look to Robinhood, right, to make it work. Now there's a lot of people in crypto. There's a lot of chains that come out and they'll claim in crypto. And this was big last year, or even the year before.
Yeah.
Sorry. There's a lot of
But
chains that came out and said like, "Oh, we're an AI chain. We're an AI crypto chain, and we have agentic AI, and buy our block coin." They were all just scams. They were all scams. So if I was going to trust anyone with that sort of thing, it would be
yeah.
Robinhood. I wouldn't. That's who I would trust.
But what I like about the blockchains is, I mean, I don't know, they don't rely so much on data centers, right? It's either like minings, and then other than that, it's just shared information.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
For
yeah, yeah.
AI, you have
Did you
to.
did you buy some more Anduril? Or you bought some more Anduril
Yeah,
after?
yeah.
Okay,
Actually, I
great,
did. I did. I'm
great.
gonna keep buying more. I like that one.
No, it's good. It's good, and
Yeah,
this is a good way for you to get familiar with crypto and managing your own wallet and get familiar with the blockchain and all that
yeah.
stuff. Um, and then yeah, let me know if you're ever interested in buying Bitcoin, and I'll show you the best way to buy Bitcoin, and it's on Kraken using
Okay.
Kraken Pro, which is a free service. I think you have to. I'm not sure. Yeah, yeah. So because Coinbase, if you try to buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, they charge a huge fee. It's a big fee, and the spreads are pretty terrible. The buy sell spreads. So I found the best way to buy Bitcoin is on Kraken, and I think I found that out by asking AI, asking Grok. Because the last time I wanted to buy Bitcoin, I didn't want to get ripped off by Coinbase, and so Grok said to use Kraken Pro. And yeah, yeah, I was able to buy Bitcoin and not take too much of a hit on the buy
Yeah.
sell or with fees. So yeah, if you ever want to buy some Bitcoin, let me know and we can go over that. Um, but if you did buy Bitcoin on Kraken, you'd probably have to keep it on the Kraken exchange unless you got a ledger, your own ledger wallet. But that's something we can get
Yeah.
into.
I think doing that, the value would be learning how to do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's the
I
that's
definitely,
the
because
yeah.
it felt good when I did this one, with the
Yeah,
one with the Phantom wallet and stuff.
yeah, and with the Phantom Wallet, I think with the Phantom Wallet, I think you can buy Bitcoin on the Phantom Wallet, or if you bought no, if you bought Bitcoin on Kraken, yeah, you don't have to keep it on the Kraken wallet. You can actually send it to your Phantom Wallet because the Phantom Wallet does have a Bitcoin address, so
Yeah.
you'd be able to send it to your Phantom Wallet. Okay, so that's something we could go over. Like if you're ever interested in buying Bitcoin, I can do a demo and then show you how. Yeah, show you how to buy Bitcoin on Kraken Pro using Kraken Pro because that gives you a better rate. and then how to send it to your Phantom wallet. But there's lots of things you can buy with your Phantom wallet. I think you can have Ethereum on your Phantom wallet, Bitcoin. You can also buy Solana.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, yeah. But getting back to agentic AI and crypto, I would just buy Robinhood stock. I like what they're doing, and just gotta be patient. So I was taking a look at Bloom Energy, and they got their earnings coming up too. So Bloom Energy was another. They're what do they do? They do like fuel cells, I think, and it's like solid state fuel for providing energy to AI data centers. Anyway, they got an earnings coming up on Tuesday in the evening. So that's another one to keep an eye on. I've been waiting for them to get back to the 200-day moving average, and they're almost there. So we'll have to see what happens after their earnings. Because this is another one that just went crazy. Oh my goodness. Look at that. It went from 28 to $350 in like a year. Absolutely insane. Yeah. Yeah. So that's another one to keep an eye on. Okay. Let's see now. Sedge. Wow, Sedge got dropped down to the 200-day moving average. Very interesting. This is a solar panel company.
Okay.
Also related to providing power to the AI data centers. They
Are they
have
like new ones, or have they been around for a while?
they've been around for a really long time, but they're pivoting to AI, right? They're trying to do stuff with AI, to provide power to the AI data centers. So yeah, they've been around for a long time. I mean, here you can see like their high; they were up at like 360. And then they fell. Now they're all the way back down at 42. So Enphase and Sedge are two of the solar power companies I like to watch.
What about
Just
Vistra
which
or
one?
Constellation Vistra and Constellation Energy? They're another nuclear,
Oh, okay. So the ones. Okay, so this. Okay, I know, yeah. So those are solar panels. You want to look at
the nuclear ones.
the nuclear ones, like SMR is one I know. New Scale, yeah. New Scale. Yeah, they're not doing so well. New Scale's not doing so well.
What about Constellation?
Constellation.
Constellation
Okay.
Energy.
CEG. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, Bloom Energy seems to be like kind of the big winner of all of these guys. I'm not sure why though, because I don't know if fuel cells or whatever they're doing. I don't know if it's like a. I don't know. I still feel like their technology is not proven yet for Bloom Energy. I don't know. All these guys seem risky, to be honest. I'm
Yeah.
watching them. I'm watching all these power companies that supply AI, but they all look really bad right now. I'm not gonna lie. They look really bad. Um, I think it's just too risky right now, and the market's already very risky. I would just watch them, and then maybe when things get better, go back and see about buying them. Okay, we're almost done with the stocks. So CrowdStrike,
CrowdStrike. That's
no
what.
no earnings, but they look great. I mean, they look great. They're still way up there. Novartis had earnings last week. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to talk too much about Novartis. I just follow Novartis because I used to work there. All right. Now, before we get into crypto, were there any stocks you want to look at?
Uh, I kind of want to go about consider this type of security companies, and I feel like
Yeah. So we
they
looked at
are very
CrowdStrike.
strong.
Yeah,
Want to get
they are.
into.
I mean, yeah. Look at
I
Palo
mean, they're
Alto
already
Networks.
like going up, but
Yeah, they've already ran. Palo Alto
yeah,
Networks looks great. CrowdStrike looks great. I mean, those are the two that I would just watch. Yeah, they look good, but they've already ran up so high. So maybe this is one to buy. Just keep watching it and then maybe buy if it gets below. Right, if it gets below the 200-day moving average or the 52-week moving average, right, then you buy it. But they look a little too high right now. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Uh, I think that's it for me
Okay.
for the.
Well, we'll take a look at crypto. If you think of anything, we can revisit. So Bitcoin and crypto actually held up pretty well last week. Um, so we'll see what happens. We're still
Yeah.
waiting to determine if
Have,
this
have
was
we ever covered? I don't know. We can go back to it later. Have you ever covered quantum computing stuff?
covered what?
Have you ever computed? I mean, covered quantum computing?
Oh, quantum computing. I don't even know. I don't even know who does who
All, all the big ones do it, like
Google. Google does some
Google,
quantum.
uh, even
Well,
Amazon.
can you ask you said you had like Zoom AI, right? Maybe ask Zoom AI what are some good quantum computing companies to invest in. And yeah, but Bitcoin's hanging in there. Bitcoin's hanging in there. It got rejected at about 66,000. So let's see if it can breach it, if it can move up and finally breach it. Man, because yeah, if it could finally breach 66,000, maybe it should just be like a straight line to the 200-day moving average. And that would be good for MicroStrategy. That would be good for all the other crypto, Ethereum, Solana, and that would be good for also, the bit mining company, Tom Lee's
Yeah.
company, the Ethereum treasury company we were talking about. So yeah, Bitcoin looks good. ETH looks even better. Like ETH looks even better than Bitcoin. So ETH is looking good too. Um,
Oh,
I,
Ethereum? Oh, yeah, it really is.
yeah, Ethereum looks good. Ethereum looks good. Like it's see
I always look at, I don't know, for some reason, I look at Ethereum as a software version of, because you can do a lot of stuff with it,
yeah,
like with
you
the
can
smart
build on
contract.
Ethereum.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Bitcoin is you can't really build on Bitcoin. You can't build an exchange on Bitcoin, right? You can't build oh, what else? A bank, hard to build a bank on Bitcoin or a lending company. I mean, Ethereum has exchanges. It's got Uniswap. That's a big exchange. It's got Aave. I use Aave. I have all my Ethereum deposited in Aave. I have all my Chainlink deposited in Aave. That's a huge lending company. I'm not borrowing anything from Aave, but I collect interest off of my Ethereum. Can't really do that with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Um,
So it said the companies that own quantum computing is like Google, Amazon,
yeah, there you go.
and then
Oh, let's take a look at
IBM.
Amazon. Let's take a look at
Yeah.
Amazon
Actually,
because because Amazon's got earnings too next week. There we go. I knew there was a big one we were missing. Amazon's got earnings Thursday after the market closes, so that's an interesting one to watch. And then let's take a look at Meta. I know that's another one we like to track. Yeah, Meta also has earnings Wednesday after the market closes. Wednesday is going to be such a ridiculous day. Um, yeah, but I honestly, by looking at the charts of Meta, Amazon, I can't tell which way they're going to go, or even if they're going to do anything. Um, it seems like they already gapped down after. See, this it seems like they already gapped down from the um, the Google report
yeah.
because people figure, all right, well, if Google's spending that much money in capex, I'm sure Amazon and Meta are too. So yeah, okay. So Amazon and Meta also earnings next week, and then what about Apple? Apple, Apple. Yeah, Apple. They also got earnings next week. Holy moly! Thursday after the
Yeah.
market
Apple ran up.
closes. Apple looks amazing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Apple looks really good. Um, hmm. Okay, yeah. Let's get back to crypto. So Ethereum. Yeah, so we got Bitcoin trying to break out above 66,000. Ethereum, Solana. They're just gonna follow. They're just gonna follow Bitcoin. So whatever Bitcoin does, Bitcoin moves up. These guys will move up. And then Link. Um, yeah. So these guys. Okay, the cryptos they don't have earnings. There's no earnings reports with crypto.
Hmm.
makes things a little less stressful. A little less, not that much. It's still really stressful. But some safe companies to own right now. I mean, we already talked about Amazon, but not Amazon, Google. Like Google looks good. Apple looks really safe. Nvidia, I think,
Yeah.
is safe. Um, I
You
think
know, uh, I think is owned by Google, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So like that's one of the reason I'm kind of all in with Google.
Google has a lot of good stuff. They got a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. They got a lot of good stuff they're working on. Yeah, I really like Google too. Um, yeah, if I had some free money, I'd probably buy them. I probably shouldn't have had so much money in Tesla, and probably should have put more money into.
It's like I think they're at a point where they can create like a market. I mean, they already have a marketplace, right? So
Oh yeah, Google has tons of ways to make money.
yeah,
We're live streaming on YouTube right now. Google's
exactly,
owned by
exactly.
YouTube. They have their fingers in everything, in so much, tons of ways for them to make money. No, I really like Google too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, in fact, I should probably buy some. Um, we'll
I don't
see.
know any other company like that, and
Nah, they're
maybe Meta. They're like kind of on the social. People are a lot more interconnected on there, right? So, and
yeah.
then there's also like people being able to broadcast. I mean, YouTube does some of that, but YouTube is kind of like television almost,
Yep.
whereas uh, Meta is, you already have baseline friends, social network and things like that.
Yep. Okay.
Easier to market through that.
All right. There we go. Yeah, I just brought the Zoom call back up. Yeah, and like you said, Google's good for quantum computing. In fact, I remember a few weeks ago, it was a few months ago, maybe it was even last year, when there was some big news about quantum computing, some big advancements in quantum computing, and it came out of a lab, one of Google's labs. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so they're good to own. All right, so next week is going to be packed with more earnings. So hopefully the selling's done. Last I checked on the war, it did seem like there were no more new strikes from the U.S. I think they'd launched strikes against Iran for like 12 days in a row or something. So there were no new strikes last night. So maybe, hopefully, they'll go back to the negotiating table, because that's just hanging over the market. And
Yeah.
yeah, once that gets settled, it'll just be better for everybody. Because all this war and fighting and destruction, it's not solving anything. It really isn't. And I got to think the Trump administration is going to realize that they're just, they're
Well, it's
spending.
hard to do that though. It is because what the issue is what's happening in Israel, right? Like and Iran is not stepping away from that one.
Oh no, and they won't.
They're looking at it as like a humanity crisis over there,
And
right?
yeah, it is. It is. No, 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 no. It's
So
not just Iran and the U.S. They got to get, they got to make peace deals with Iran, U.S., Palestine, Israel. I mean, all of them got to come to the table
yeah,
and make peace. And well, anyway, so we'll just keep praying for peace, and that's more important than anything else, to be honest. Is
it is. It is.
yeah,
That's I think that's what's hanging on the market.
yeah,
It's very hard to ignore it.
yeah. No, it's impossible. I mean, the market tried to ignore it for like weeks and months, and then oil finally shot back up over 100, and then it couldn't ignore it anymore. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, the market took a hit. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. But more important than that, though, it's just, this war is just such a horrible thing, and hopefully the war in the Ukraine and Russia ends too. It's just terrible, all this stuff that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Um, so this is a good time, I think, to really do a lot of DCA, dollar cost averaging. If you got some favorite companies, just
Yeah.
just invest in those a little each week or a little each month, and then just be patient, because You know, this year may not be that good. It might be flat, and then for the rest of the summer, and then maybe at the end of this year, we start going up again, and then maybe next year should be really good for crypto. So that's one thing to look forward to. And then I got to think this whole, war. At least one of these wars is going to get resolved before the end of the year.
Yeah, it's like they go back and forth. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay. We covered all the earnings that happened this last week, and then we got even more earnings. I think this next week is going to be twice as busy as the week we just had with earnings. So keep an eye out on the market. Um, and let's just see what happens. Right. Just try to get through earnings. All right.
Yeah.
Good luck, everybody. Have a good week. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all next week. All right.
Bye, everyone.
All right. See you all.